right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We've got several people on the call already. I'm really excited about this actual format because I think it's just going to be fun. I was regretting not having called it like wine and oils or something like that. I guess that's the thing to do, right? Like cocktail, what is it, virtual cocktail and oils or whatever?
Yeah. Can we pause so that we can just go do that?
I mean, no judgment for me. I got tea instead. I was trying to be responsible, or at least that's what you can think of it.
Not worth it.
Anyway, okay, so the format of our call today is going to be pretty informal, just kind of a walk through the day, and each of us can kind of share a little bit what our morning routine with oils might look like, and mid-morning and afternoon, and so on and so forth. And not just oils, but also supplements and any other little wellness tips that you have that you kind of incorporate throughout your day. For those of you who are listening, we welcome any questions. Feel free to put them in the chat. And I do want to give everybody a quick second to just kind of introduce themselves. So I'll start myself and just say, I'm Lacey Grimm. I convinced all these beautiful women to get on the call here tonight. And I am passionate about nature and all the amazing things that it offers us. And one of those in my life has been essential oils and the herbal supplements that doTERRA provides us with. And I just love their product line. I love the company as a whole, but I have a lot of other hats that I wear, but that's why we're here tonight, just to kind of talk to you about what our lives look like on a day-to-day basis, even having been using these oils now for almost 8 years. So they've become really just habits that make us feel better all the time.
Okay, well, my name is Terry Lambert, and I've been using the oils for about 5 years now. I love to garden, I love to work in the yard, and I have 2 children and 2 grandbabies, and I love to share the oils with anybody that listen.
My name is Leela Duke. I've been using the oil since I think about 2013 and 14. I was just thinking I probably need to know when my actual enrollment date was, but my friend JC Bynum had told me about the oils, and I ordered the Home Essentials kit, and I just dove straight in, and we haven't stopped using them. If anything, we use them even more. But I have a husband and I have 2 girls, and we're all oil users. My husband was, a little bit more hesitant to use the oils, but about a year into it, he became a believer, and he will diffuse at the fire station, and those guys call it vaping. Hey, Duke, vape for us. But yeah, we love the oils, and I'm excited to share with you guys tonight some of the things that we use the most.
Marcy, and I am a mama to many. In fact, I have a 3-month-old downstairs who is suffering from extraordinary gas at the moment. So if I have to scooch out briefly, just or I might be interrupted. So if I wave, then just know I love you all, and I'm happy to be here, but I might have to tag out. So I'm a mom, and that's kind of all I'm doing at the moment. Raising how many kids? 7 children, and that's really all I'm doing at the moment. I've been using essential oils and herbs for tipping on 20 years now, and Lacey introduced me to doTERRA essential oils probably about 5 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago, I think. Daphne was 1, I think. So, yeah. So, and doTERRA has been a game changer in so many ways. In fact, it's helping the current gassy baby. So we can be grateful for our oils even in the moment. So other than that, that's me.
Okay. So I'm a mom of many too. I have 8, currently pregnant with number 9. And I've been using essential oils and natural medicine period for about 10 years. But about 7 years ago, Lacey got me into doTERRA, and that's pretty much what I do now. Raise the kids and do doTERRA full time. We do full-time RV. So we have a lot of different ways we use the oils in our lifestyle, of course, and it's also beneficial because we get to talk to a lot of people and that kind of thing, but I'll share more about that later.
So I guess I have used essential oils now for 5 years. I've done lost count as well, but they've been a game changer for our family as well, especially my youngest son, who will be 5. I just have 2 kids, just 2 boys. One's almost 5 and one is 7. So now I'm homeschooling. So I'm currently just doing that. And I also help my husband. He's in him and his brother own a construction company. So I do the books for them on top of, all of this. And I love to garden as well. As you can see that I've been outside all day, nasty and ready for a shower, but we always have projects around the house, and we love natural things as well.
So I'm Alicia Wolfert, And I've been using oils for probably about 7 or 8 years, but Lacey has introduced me to doTERRA within the last year or so. And I'm a coach. I work with women specifically around, probably, I think the easiest way to describe it is around transitions and resiliency. But I'm a life coach, and I use creativity and positive psychology to help with those transitions and resiliency. And I have a podcast that comes out weekly as well, so I'm pretty busy.
Okay. I'm Angela, and I am a physical therapist by trade, and I've been using the oils for probably about doTERRA oils for about 7 years, and maybe a few years before that. But I love everything natural healthcare. I think it's what, kind of lured me into physical therapy. I don't like taking medicine. I don't like using a lot of drugs, and I really like helping people to be at their best from a wellness perspective. So it just fits really well with my overall values.
All right. Well, so you can see we have a little bit of diversity in terms of what we all do and what kind of expertise we bring to the table. And that actually is you're going to see that carry through in terms of what we use oils day by day, but you'll probably see some overlap too. So if you're like, oh my goodness, they keep saying this one oil over and over again, that's because everybody should just use it like 4 or 5 times a day, right? No. But these guys gave me a little bit of a feel for what they want to talk about tonight. And it is very different. Even I was like, oh, that's different. Oh, I don't do that. And I was a little surprised. So I'm excited to kind of get to some of those things. But we are kind of in a weird time right now in terms of what's going on globally, not just, we're used to kind of these natural disasters happening, right, in like pocket. And you feel like, oh, it's okay. The people that aren't having this natural disaster will come in and rescue us and everything will be fine. But we kind of have to rescue each other in this one. This just occurred to me, but when we got this pot and we brought it in from outside over the winter, and all of these ants started building a nest in it, and there were a ton of ants. So we took it outside and we stuck the whole pot in the middle of a small pond that we have. And slowly but surely, the ants built a bridge out of their own bodies for all of the rest of the ants to climb out. And I just that was just like the most perfect image of how much power we have if we'll just hold hands and link arms and make things happen and help each other. And I don't know. That's how I feel about the oils now. I'm like, okay, everybody should just have these simple tools. They're too easy not to just have. And so I really wanted with this to break down how easy the oils actually are and how they really have transformed our lives. I mean, it's like amongst this group of people, I don't know any of them taking their kid into the pediatrician on a regular basis because our kids are well, right? They're just they don't have to go that often. And that's a big deal. And being able to deal with little things like seasonal allergies or, colds as they come up, just little things like that is really powerful when push comes to shove. But I do trust the oils on a bigger level too. So when we're talking about this like ordeal we're going through, I'm so thankful to have oils that I know will help me. If we got sick, we could have some things to relieve symptoms and also build our immune system and also deal with the anxiety that we're all feeling and all of these different things. So I'll just go ahead and start. So with the morning, one of the questions I love to just answer is, okay, so what do you do when how do you start your day with oils? And for me, it's become pretty ritualistic, and I've become like kind of an old woman in what I do. And what I found is that the more habitual I can be about things, the better I feel. So for me, the first thing I do every morning is frankincense. I brought it out just because if you don't know what frankincense looks like. So I don't even put my feet on the floor before I open my frankincense. And I open the bottle, I put a drop in my hands, I smell it, I breathe it in deeply. I say some morning prayer, and then I just feel like I'm ready to start the day. And I started it on my own terms. And there are some other things that are a part of that ritual for me too. But that's like the first really powerful thing that I do with essential oils. Waking up to the smell of frankincense is, and I'm a coffee addict, but even better than waking up to the smell of coffee. So at least for me, and others probably have a different take on it. But Terry, would you tell us, what do you do for your morning routine? Is there an oil that you incorporate?
Not actually. Well, some days there are. It just depends. I guess I don't have a strict routine like that. I don't have any kids at home anymore, but I do have 2 adorable cats. Okay. And so they are anxiously awaiting my feet to hit the floor every morning because they know they're going to be fed. So they're rushing me off to the kitchen as soon as I wake up in the morning. So after the cats are fed, the first thing I do is I do take my LLV. And I didn't bring that out. I didn't even think about it, but that's the first thing I do is I take my Lifelong Vitality Pack. And actually there's several other supplements that I include in that in the morning. And I do take it with water. And I make sure that I drink that glass of water with those supplements before I have my coffee. So then as I'm getting ready in the morning, then it's the On Guard products. I have the On Guard toothpaste and the On Guard mouthwash. And of course, I personally don't think you can live in this world without On Guard hand soap.
Can you even buy it right now? Is it sold out?
Well, I make my own anyway, so that's okay. As long as I have On Guard oil, I'm fine. And typically my day, doesn't start with oils until I get to the office. And then as soon as I get to the office, I start my diffuser. And it's usually On Guard and lemon or wild orange and peppermint, something like that. But now that I'm not going to the office and I'm working from home, it's easy to just start the diffuser in the kitchen. And actually today, at one time, I had 3 diffusers going. So, one was in the kitchen, one was in the den, and there were 2 different scents going. So that's okay. You just move from one room to the other and have oils going all through the house. But, when you talk about, and I'm trying to clear my throat because this is the worst time of year for me, with seasonal allergies. And that was the one thing that lured me really to the essential oils was for my seasonal allergies. And even though it may be just a small thing for a lot of people, it's huge for me. And it was huge for me. I would get sick every year. And when I say sick, it would go into bronchitis or pneumonia. And so it really was serious. And since I have been using the oils, I literally have not been back to my allergy doctor. I was able to eliminate all my prescription allergy medications, and simply using the oils every day, I've been able to, do away with a lot of the problem, a lot of my problems as far as allergies go.
Does anybody else have a way that they start their morning with the oil specifically that's just become a routine for them?
Oh, mine's really easy. Mine's just really more about just convenience type products. So kind of like Terry said, like it's in everything that I'm using to just get ready in the morning. And so then I don't have to think about remembering my oils, and it's in all of my skincare. So to me, that's just a lot easier than trying to remember, wait, this oil, put on this oil, put on this oil. So go ahead, Leanne.
Mine starts kind of like Terry's does in the morning. It's supplement. And like I said on one of Drew's posts in the group, I feel like the supplements even come above the oils because they're the foundation. And if you're doing that every day, you don't even need your oils quite as much. Because you're going to have less problems. You're not going to have those lulls in the afternoon where you feel like you're dragging and you need something to help pick you up, and you're going to get sick less often. There's going to be a lot of different cases where you don't need them, but also the supplements can really be beneficial. Food allergies, the gut supplements are very important. And so we really start our day with supplements. And then I do a lot of like a peppermint or an On Guard in my coffee a lot of times, especially if I wake up a little bit congested. I'm still going to have my coffee. So I'll put an oil in there to help kind of clear that up a little bit. And then like Angela said, it's in my skincare, it's in my toothpaste. I'm using those things throughout the day. So I am getting them in my body, even if I have a busy day and I forget to put my oils on as much. And then stress is another big thing. Even if you forget to put it on, if you can remember to run a diffuser, that's going to run for 4, 6, 12 hours, however long yours runs. And it's really going to help to lower stress levels in your day, because sometimes you don't even realize that things are starting to mount, and the oils can help really bring that down and help you to focus a little bit better. So using those throughout the day, keeping a diffuser running, I feel like is the laziest but easiest way to get the oils in your system at nighttime. We have a lot of allergy issues in our family that's gotten tremendously better with the oil, but we keep something like Breathe running at nighttime because, kids have been outside playing in the air and there's been pollen stirred up and things like that. We'll keep Breathe running so people don't wake up as congested, or right now you don't want to go outside and cough or sneeze because people think you have the plague. So we're really trying to keep that at bay for them too. And then like Terry said, with my husband, he got walking pneumonia every single year before the oils. Every single year he would have it and didn't even know it until he basically collapsed. And since doing the oils, we don't have that problem with him anymore. And his allergies are about 75% better than they were. He was taking medication after medication, and he doesn't have to do that at all anymore. So
one of the things I love about being stuck at home, so I love the supplements too. They're a huge part of my routine, but that I've been taking a morning and afternoon, and because also I want to boost my immune system at this time, right? But I'm home, and so I'm here, and I don't have to like take it with me in my purse or whatever. It's just easier to just get it done. But my energy levels are like skyrocketing. I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling so good. So yeah, I mean, just another like plug. Those supplements are huge for sure. I will add another part of my supplement routine, because we talked about that, is the adaptive supplement, which is like a game changer for me in terms of just my temperament. It just keeps me totally even through the day. And I notice for sure if I don't take it. But yeah, have you guys incorporated that supplement?
I wanted to give a shout out to Serenity.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Especially, so our supplements change depending on, I guess, the environmental factors or, the stress factors. But a lot of people will think Serenity for night. But I decided, sorry, I got an ad in here. I decided 3 years ago with my battle with anxiety to try this during the day. And I was really nervous because I didn't know what my response would be, but it was awesome. So I did a little bit of research today. There's an amino acid in here, and it's called L-theanine. And I want to read to you what it does because it's very, very powerful. Also, about 3 years ago, I was reading some books about the brain and how it works. And this amino acid, what it does is it calms the mind from racing. And I know all of us, our minds have been probably racing. And that's why it's also good to take at night, because typically we try to solve all of our problems right before we go to sleep. So it helps calm the mind. But this is what it says. It says that this amino acid combats anxiety and sleep disorders. They recommend to take it 30 to 60 minutes before bed. It impacts the nerve impulses in the brain and the release of the neurotransmitters, including GABA. So this, it's not the same as adaptive, but it will help produce the GABA.
Yeah.
It has a calming and sedative effect, and it's used to reduce anxiety, hyperactivity, which was what I was reading about in the brain, helping with ADHD and sleep-related problems. But you can take this during the day, and it will help calm your mind, help relieve stress, because it does have lavender in it as well. And then it has a few other herbs in there that help with calming. So I definitely recommend this in the morning if you've been waking up a little stressed. It's great to add to your other supplements. But something else that we take every single morning is an On Guard soft gel. They're just too easy to not take because my kids can take them too. And this time of year, we also add one of the Tri-Ease. We'll do an On Guard soft gel and a Tri-Ease, and that combination has been magic for us.
Which, for those of you who don't know, Tri-Ease is a capsule with lemon, lavender, and peppermint already mixed together in there, and it's really powerful for allergies. In fact, the last few nights, Drew has especially been hit hard, and it's just like he used to have Claritin or I can't remember, Zyrtec on hand. But fortunately now all he does is like, where's my Tri-Ease? And he'll take it. And within like 30 minutes or so, he's got relief, if not faster. So yeah, we love that. We go through a lot of Tri-Ease at this time of year for sure. Okay. So let's maybe reel it back to, we talked a little bit about supplements, and supplements, we have some incredible ones, but let's talk about single oils again. And I know a few of you had some kind of weird ones. Actually, both Melissa and Alicia wanted to talk about fennel. So I'm really excited to give fennel this like, this opportunity to shine, because it's not an oil that we talk about a lot. But I would love for both of you to share why you love fennel for sure. Two very different reasons, I think, but I want to hear both of you. So Alicia, do you want to start and tell us about your love of fennel?
Okay, so I'm one of those weirdos. I don't love drinking water. Like I never remember to do it. So I really like the fennel oil. And so I put a drop of that in my water, and I've got a big like jug of water. And so it just helps me. It just makes it a little bit more exciting to drink my water. And I love it. And I drink a lot more of it because I enjoy that, just that tiny sweet fennel taste.
It is sweet. It really is. It's funny because I'm drinking this tea, which I didn't put oils in, but I can tell there's fennel in here. And it's one of those things that like it just keeps you coming back for more. So I love that idea, but I've never added it to my water ever. So
You're the one that gave me that idea, actually. But
I don't know. I feel like that was an accident, but Levia loves fennel. So that's my 11-year-old. All of my kids do, but she'll like go over and just get a dab of lemon or fennel and put it on her tongue because it's sweet and it tastes like you almost had sugar or something. But yeah, so maybe that's how you got the idea. I don't know. Melissa, so what do you guys do with fennel?
So I do not love fennel, but my husband does. So really, he should be telling about this. He has been using it for around his eyes. He wears contact lens now, and so every morning he gets up and he puts contact lens in, and his eyes are blurry for a while. And as soon as he puts the fennel on, his eyes clear up. And a while back, he swore to me that when he lays in bed and his contacts are out and he has to wear his glasses, that he can actually see his phone or a book better without anything in, glasses or contact. No, just using fennel twice a day, morning and night, just around his eye socket.
What? Well, so this is funny because I remember we had a big team event and I was talking about fennel and somebody raised their hand.
And that's where I got the idea from.
You got the idea, and they said that fennel for eyesight. For I can't remember if she said if it was like macular degeneration or if there was a specific thing, but yeah, fennel for eyesight. That's very interesting. I'm gonna start doing that because I wish I didn't need glasses or contact.
He said it clears it up, like even just the blurriness, like just seconds.
Wow.
It clears it up. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So you said he puts that on morning and night, diluted or straight? Or?
Yes. No, I've put it in a roller bottle.
Okay.
And so I put it, or he puts it just around his eye socket.
Okay, good. Well, so we're on this call and you're an old-time oil user. I hope you're excited about potential for fennel in your life. Okay, so what other single oils did you guys list off? I know Terry had mentioned, Terry I know loves lemon. So lemon, normally people know to put in their water for sure. But Terry, why do you love lemon?
Well, it has limonene in it. And limonene's really good for you.
I've heard.
Yeah. You know what? Lemon was a slow grow for me. Okay. It was when I first got the oils, lemon was not really high on my list. I've never been a lemon person. I've never put lemon in my water, never put lemon in my tea, just have never been a lemon person. Now, honestly, I think I go through 2 bottles of lemon a month. I diffuse it constantly. I absolutely love the smell of it in the diffuser. I use it in my homemade laundry detergent. I use it every day in my water. Being at home, I've eliminated, I'm a big coffee drinker, but I have eliminated sweet tea, and I blame that on fennel because it does curb that sweet tooth.
Yeah, good. That's good.
And so the Digest Zen, the fennel that's in the Digest Zen, I eliminated sweet tea, but occasionally when we go out to dinner, I will have sweet tea. Well, now that we're not going out to dinner, gosh, I just had a craving for some sweet tea yesterday. And so it was hot and I'd been working outside and I made some sweet tea, but I put lemon in it, which is so unusual for me, but it was so good. I just love lemon for its cleaning properties. I have it in lots of my homemade cleaning supplies that I use. And so that and wild orange are just 2 of my essentials that I have to have them on my order every month.
Yeah, we go through a lot of lemon in our house for sure. Yeah. All right, Marcy, I'm gonna call you out. It's your turn to talk, and I was gonna tell you to talk about your favorite oil, which I know what your favorite oil is, unless you've changed it because it's a weird one and it's not my favorite oil. Or you can talk to us about ways you use your favorite oil, whatever you want to do. But I will tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to tell everybody what your favorite oil is.
All right, we'll say at the count of 3. We'll say it at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Vetiver.
Yeah. All right.
Vetiver way too.
That's not that weird.
It is weird.
That is not that weird.
So yeah, I truly do love vetiver. However, it's been not in the rotation so much as other ones lately. And I think it was probably the beginning of December or so when I just kind of put all of my oils to rest for a little while. Everything was kind of compounding and I kind of fell out of practice. But after the baby's been born, I've been called to a bunch of different oils. So I've been actually using, in the mornings, I put Braver on myself from the kids line.
Braver. Oh, how funny. That's Abraham's favorite too.
Yeah. And then for the baby, I usually put Stronger because she's been just struggling with health stuff since she was born. So I just try to kind of infuse as much strength and brave, courage into both of us to get through another day of her being well, which is what we want. But, I think she was born at the end of December. And so we kind of rolled into like a stressful kind of traumatic birth experience, and then she was sick, and then we have this pandemic, and there's like all of this kind of turmoil swirling around. And so for me, one of the biggest things that I could do was just get back into like my meditation practice and just to wake up every morning and just kind of have some just quiet, because with 6 kids at home right now and varying from newborn to 18, and everybody has their emotional needs that everyone's homeschooling now, and which isn't a really big deal to us because we homeschooled anyway in the past, but everybody's emotions are super hot, and my husband's home also from work, and so we're all kind of just like feeling it and kind of working through it. So Sandalwood and Bergamot have actually been the two that I've been working with the most. And if the baby sleeps in the morning, then I'll try to sneak up and sit at my little space that I have behind my closet door. It's just a little altar space with and it isn't an altar or whatever, just a table with some pictures, things that are stimulating or motivating to calm the mind and soothe the racing mind, and help bring me to a place of just like so I can breathe, And if she's awake, I usually just lie her on the floor next to me and just hopefully she'll, give me a few minutes of peace and quiet. But she's 3 months, so. But Bergamot is an amazing oil to help cultivate feelings of acceptance. And so right now I think humans in general need to accept a lot about what's happening in our current world situation, and I know one of my daughters especially is having a really hard time accepting. She's a senior this year, and so she's missing out on her senior year of school, and graduation was at the beginning of June, and they've canceled classes now to the end of May, so it's kind of she's having a really hard time accepting where the world is. So this is a good oil for her. And Sandalwood is super, super for just bringing you to some balance, a grounding, earthy. So those two combined work really, really well for me in the morning. So that's, And Vetiver, I love Vetiver. She's my bestie. I adore that. I adore her. I mean, literally, she sits next to my side of the bed still. It's not like, I've packed her up and put her away. But I feel like she has a different she's a different ally I use in a different way.
Okay, so what do you use Vetiver for? Because I think a lot of people, maybe have seen it on the list, but maybe they weren't drawn to it because they didn't understand.
So Vetiver, so I think because I'm feeling I feel fully into my body. I'm not feeling too scattered. I'm not feeling too, up in the clouds. I am aware of like where I need to be, what I need to do, how I need to act, the way I need to be with my children, because I have so many moving parts. So for me, Vetiver is the oil that kind of really brings me out of the clouds, really roots me, really brings me down to the earth. If you haven't smelled Vetiver literally smells like wet soil. It is my all-time favorite smell ever, is the smell of the earth. And yeah, it's like rain-soaked forest earth is what Vetiver reminds me of. So for anybody that needs that extra pull from severe anxious feelings or racing mind or constantly being in the future, thinking about those things, Vetiver is really good at kind of, gently and lovingly and kindly just kind of bringing you back down to earth and reminding you that, you are an earthling and you dwell here on the ground. And so that's what I use her for.
Yeah, it is. It's the ultimate grounder. I think you're right, for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Any other weird oils that you guys try? Actually, I will say Alicia brought up another weird one. She brought up oregano, and we all know it's their top 10 oil, right? But and she is making a yucky face. But Alicia, tell us why you love oregano.
So I am prone to allergies. and I get colds more than a normal human being should get colds. And when I diffuse oregano, it really helps my symptoms subside. So I don't know if it's curing it. I don't really care what it's doing because it makes me feel a hell of a lot better. So I've been keeping that really going right now. And I know that it is actually one of the things that is supposed to kill coronavirus. So having that in the air right now feels really safe to me. So I don't know, I'm going to keep it going.
Yeah, keep it going. So yeah, oregano is like the most potent oil I feel like ever. And so with like the thought of diffusing it, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's gonna smell like a pizza restaurant in your house all the time. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I had family in town middle of February from all over the place, and I had been diffusing it, but I was like, oh, this is kind of a big smell. I'll have to like turn it. I'll not have
And
it
it lingers
And I just think I have
for days.
Yeah, so I didn't really realize how much it lingered. And my family was like, what is that smell? It smells so good in here. And I'm like, I don't know. And then my allergies were starting to bother me. And I was like, do you all mind if I diffuse oregano? And they're like, let's give it a try. And they're like, that's it. That's what smells so good. And I was like, yeah, those.
Oh, that's funny.
My children ever accuse me of not loving them. I can prove to them that I do, because that stupid infectious disease protocol has oregano heavy. And I do that protocol on them and smell like oregano for 2 days. And then every time I give them a hug, they smell like oregano for 2 days. And it makes me want to get it.
So that's funny. I'm not as repulsed by oregano as I am by cilantro. So yeah, I have given my kids which protocol? It's a sensory protocol, I think, that has cilantro.
Oh yeah.
And a bunch of other really smelly oils in it. But so when we're talking about that, Anne just brought up a good point. So this is another tool that a lot of people mention was Symphony of the Cells, which is just it's a system of protocols. Thanks, Leela. Leela's got her copy. And is it spiral bound? How'd you get a spiral bound copy?
Staples.
Oh, brilliant. So it is full of protocols that you can use in like very acute and specific situations, and you can also use it as a kind of a part of your maybe weekly routine, just depending on what your issues are. Ange mentioned the infectious disease protocol, which is one we have called on again and again and again for specific like an acute flu-like symptoms, cold-like symptoms, and it works so well. How many people in here, Terry, Marcy, Angela, have all taken, Leanne, have you done Symphony of Cells training?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've taken it.
So this training is something you can go and get, like a 6-hour training with Boyd Truman when he comes to town, which is probably going to be a little while. But you don't have to go to the training. You can get the book and understand how to apply the oils and for the different needs. And it's just become this thing that we call on pretty regularly. And the thing I love about the protocols is that you can pretty easily look at the list and be like, oh, I have this oil. I can use this oil for that specific need too. But does anybody want to share experience with the Symphony of Cells? Terry. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so told you I've been working out in the yard a lot, and I'm the oldest one on here, guys.
Oh, stop.
I'm an old person now. Okay, so the other morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with the beginning of a urinary tract infection.
Oh,
Death. That is death to me. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to do was to call the doctor. Okay. I don't want to go anywhere near a doctor's office right now. And so fortunately for me, I had what I needed. All I had to do was open my phone, which I did at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then when I got up, I was able to look in the Essential Life book and see what oils that I needed to use to help treat this, beginnings of a bladder infection. And sure enough, I have been able to knock that out. And oregano has been a big part, lemongrass, I've used some geranium, some juniper berry, some cinnamon. I have gone the entire gamut just to make sure that this is gone, because I don't want to go to the doctor. And, unfortunately, in the past, when I did have this problem, they would prescribe Cipro. And of course, we know what the bad rap that Cipro has. And so, the other drugs, the doxycycline drugs, just don't go very well with me, and I don't want to take them anyway. So I would much rather use the oils. And so anyway, the other night I was still feeling really, really bad. And my husband did the infectious disease protocol on me, and it helped tremendously. I mean, it is just amazing how effective the Symphony of the Cells is. And every time I have an issue, it's there. And it's just how it blows my mind how simple that is and how effective it can be.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. So coming back to like Leanne, were you going to say?
I was going to say we've been using the respiratory and digestive protocols a lot for allergies because those really help. We use the digestive, of course, because allergies come from the gut, and then we use the respiratory just to help with the breathing that goes along with that. It's helped tremendously here.
That's very cool. Okay, good. So I wouldn't have thought to do digestive, but I need to try that on Drew next time he's having an issue for sure.
For allergies, we do the lymphatic protocol. And
that's a good one too.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably give you one testimony per each of those Symphony of the Cells protocols because we've used them so across the board. Like even the Chi one, my neighbor was complaining that she just didn't have energy, and I was like, "Oh, you should try the supplements," and she did. But then she came over for the Chi protocol, and she was like, "I couldn't believe it! Like all of a sudden, I could wake up in the morning without being lethargic. Like it was just a really powerful impact for her." Over like one night. It was crazy. And the protocols take like 6 minutes to do. So it's very fast. So moving through the day, just a little bit, kind of getting back to the idea of moving through the day and what we do through the day. I know that nighttime is kind of huge because like Leela was saying, if you can't sleep, and a lot of us, that's when we're processing. And that's what's been my issue with all of the stuff going on. I've been not able to sleep, or I'll wake up in the middle of the night, like my mind racing. So the last few nights I've gotten really good about resetting my habit in terms of what I do before I go to bed. And what has been really working for me is lavender and Roman chamomile on the bottoms of my feet. And it seems too simple to be that effective, but I've had the most restful sleep in the last 2 nights that I have in a month. And it's just because, it's just one of those simple things. Like the oils are not complicated. All it takes is actually taking them out of the bottle. They don't work in the bottle. I can't just keep it by my nightstand, even though that's what I was doing. Now I actually open the bottles, put it on my feet, and it changes everything, how I wake up and start each day because I slept better. Does anybody else have any sort of specific things they like to do for bedtime?
So I've been using EFT tapping, which has been super. It's something that actually I learned from Lee way back when. My husband, when we first started dating, he was using it for something he was working through, and it's just something that we've both been always really good about reminding each other when we're struggling with anxiety or unsteady feelings. It just kind of helps to. It uses acupressure points on the the top part of your body. I did a little snapshot, just like a screenshot. I don't know if this. So I don't know. I did it on my phone. So can you see it?
Well, kind of. We get the gist, but we can't read it, I don't think.
No, I can read them to you, but just so you can see like where the arrows are pointing.
Like
basically
and stuff.
Yeah. So you can just Google EFT. It doesn't require, it's not rocket science. You're not, doing brain surgery. So, and really all you're doing is you're using your first 2 fingers and you're just tapping 5 to 10 times, acupressure points. And then, you're doing it here, collarbone. And then there's like the soft sore spot here you want to get. And then I usually cross the body then and go underneath my arm. So usually it's like it's usually you want to go for the points that are sore. So when you push on certain points, acupressure points, they're typically sore. There's soreness. So you can, that's how like the point here that you squeeze for when you have a headache, you got it, because it's usually pretty uncomfortable to press on. So I use with EFT tapping, I'll use Serenity, or I'll use Balance, frankincense, cedarwood, again, bergamot. She's always one that kind of comes up for me when I need, she's just such a good all around oil for any type of anxious feelings for me. Any citrus bliss even, that's a good one to use if you're feeling like you're doing it during the day and you need just something to kind of boost you a little bit. These are good things to blend in. But just doing the tapping alone, it just kind of I like to think, there's different ways you can go about starting a tapping series, before bed. If you're struggling with something in particular, you can say, I know I'm struggling with anxiety right now, but I accept myself fully. And then you tap yourself, and what you're doing is you're tapping, thinking that, or I'm in control of my body, or I will have peace. You just want to kind of create some type of a mantra for yourself while you're doing these tapping. And then it's, a nice deep breath, and then you 5 to 10 taps at each site, and rub your hands together, smell some oil, some deep breaths, and it's a nice way to kind of wind down the day and kind of hop into bed. And then if you're taking Serenity, your Serenity capsule, you could do that beforehand. It doesn't take long, but usually it takes you a good 30 minutes to wind down before you fall asleep anyhow. So
yeah, that actually, so I signed up to do a summit with tapping, and I didn't finish it, but I watched a lot of it, and it was really, really interesting. And the science is all very supportive of it. And it really just reminds me a lot of circle breathing or square breathing, which I don't even know for sure what the difference is. So maybe Alicia can help me out there. But it is kind of that same, just finding rhythm and focusing on something other than the panic, I guess. And it really is very powerful. In fact, Alicia, would you give us an example of how somebody might do that with, or maybe you could tell us what the difference between circle or square breathing is?
I don't call it that. I mean, those aren't, so I'm not entirely sure what you're thinking.
Okay, so square, 4-4-4, or
yeah. So there's different things, and you do different types of breathing for different things, and I don't do a lot of that, because you should really be doing it with someone who's super skilled and practices it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they know what they're talking about. And so it's not, I do certain types of breathing that I like as well. I love alternate nostril breathing, and I love 3-part breath. And I just think that anything breathing wise that gets us into our body is good. But as far as the holding for 4, and then letting out for 4, and then holding out for 4, I don't typically, because there can be complications with people, it's not something I practice a lot.
Okay, that makes sense. I appreciate you saying that, because I have no idea. But I have, a little bit, I think just being aware of your breath for sure is one simple thing you can do in the moment. And I think the oils make that so easy, because obviously you're going to be breathing that in. So it's a good match for sure.
And you're going to pause.
Yes, exactly. So what else would you guys like to share about little habits that you do that have really helped you through these times?
I'm breaking up. Sorry.
Yeah, you were. Are you talking about Josh?
Yeah. So he deals with a lot of back pain.
Okay.
And I think that a lot of people right now are dealing with different types of pain.
Mm-hmm. We lost you again, Leanne. Maybe if your video comes back, you will know you're stable again.
Yeah, I think my service is going in and out.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was just going to say that Slim and Sack really great for pain.
Oh, yeah, that is a secret hack that Leanne has shared with me, and she's right. I've tried it. So her husband he had a severe back injury and has dealt with pain ever since. It's been, 2 or 3 years almost? And one of the things that helps him,
it's been 3 years, yeah.
3 years, is Slim and Sassy, just applied to the area. I think now it looks like she's gone, but which isn't what you would typically put Slim and Sassy as, you wouldn't think of it as a use for that, but yeah, it's pretty powerful for pain. So a really good option. Okay, Alicia, what were you going to say?
I just, what I'm missing, the oil that I'm missing and the way I'm missing using it is I am a yoga teacher, and typically at the end in Shavasana, I use lavender oil and do aromatherapy for my clients, and then a little juicy head rub. And I'm just missing, that's part of as a yoga teacher, that's my favorite part of class, and it just doesn't do it for me teaching online and not getting to give juicy head rubs with lavender oil.
It's not the same on the other end either, for sure.
No, it's so sad.
I'm like, no, it's not working. No, I love the oils in combination with yoga has been really, really, really nice. We had a girl come and teach it for us for a while when we had a storefront, and it was Abby, who most of you guys know, and she would use oils throughout, and it was beautiful. And it's something simple that you can just add to if you're doing yoga or any kind of exercise. Adding the oils as an element for sure makes a huge impact. I know peppermint with running and breathe with running, and it just depends on what you're doing really, but it can be a really nice combo. If you're already doing this good thing for your health, you might as well level up a little bit and use an oil at the same time. So yes, when I'm doing my yoga in my bedroom now, I bring the frankincense and the balance right next to me, and I use them throughout the routine while I'm doing it. So for sure, it's like these little tiny ways that we just use the oils throughout the day that add up into being sort of transformative. So Melissa, what was on your list? You had another thing on your list. I didn't get the chance to read your text before we got on, but that you were share with us.
Well, this wasn't one of them, but I was just thinking about something that I use quite a bit, are just the breathe drops. Well, the breathe or the On Guard drop, because just the little things, not always every day. But I was thinking it's more now. So, but when I was walking or trying to do my sprints, which I'm trying to do once a week, doing sprints, but if it's cold outside and you get that really cold air down your chest, just putting a breathe drop really helps going outside into the cold weather. And even now, with all the allergies going on, and like we were doing a lot of yard work today, and I could feel it just getting in my chest a little bit. And so definitely those breathe drops was helping just kind of with my chest.
Yeah.
So that was nice today as well.
It's funny because we had the flu. So when I'm a little convinced we already had this virus, but we went to, Israel in December, and I got sick while we were there, and it was like this respiratory funk like you wouldn't believe. And then we got home and everybody else got it, and we ran out of breathe drops, and I didn't realize how devastating that would be. It's like when you don't have that thing that you want. And it was, they were huge. They were so helpful with that cough that we had just lingered and lingered and lingered. And so I was really thankful for those. It's a really good point. Right. Actually, that brings up a good point too, because I think with coughs, there are some tricks that not everyone might know about, ways to deal with coughs that you guys maybe know. And I would love to hit on those a little bit. The one I know for sure is Digescent is pretty amazing for coughs. What else do you guys do when coughs pop up?
So I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers. I feel like maybe we had it also because,
really?
Well, the baby was sick for a month with nasty bronchitis, which I thought I had was bronchitis, and the kids had it when we got home from the hospital. They were sick with something, and it was all upper respiratory. There was fever, and Daphne's still coughing, and then I got it. But what I did was facial steams. I mean, I do steams anyhow, but I use thyme in my facial steam, which thyme is amazing for the respiratory system. It loves your lungs. It's really amazing for sinuses and all of that, the mucous membranes. It's super, super beneficial. And of course, we know it's likes to, it supports the body with all these viruses and bacteria and fungus. And so that was one of my, that it was amazing to me. I literally felt like I pushed through that thing 2 days flat. And I mean, the shortness of breath was still a thing. I'm still, I still get a tickle cough, every night when I'm going to bed. So there's still things, but those facial steams for cough was amazing. So Daphne, she would do one. I didn't use thyme with Daphne. I would use lemon and frankincense with her. Any type of a resin oil is super good for those types of things.
Yeah. That's great. I think it's such a simple thing, but it is. The steam cups are so powerful, and thyme isn't. It's actually probably on the top of my list when it comes to just dealing with kind of this type of stuff that we have going on, respiratory / viral stuff. So very good recommendation. Anyone else?
Actually, this year I've been using a lot of with my sinuses and the allergies, the tea tree and rosemary. Because the rosemary does help with the mucus. It helps your body eliminate the mucus.
Yeah. So. They're all very herbaceous. They just make me think we should start making more soup or something too. Maybe not tea tree, but anything else? And anything you would add to the respiratory stuff, tips or tricks?
Well, we have that fun little shower diffuser, which actually is kind of nice for steaming / showering at the same time. But really, if we've got a cough, we usually just go back on Symphony of the Cells. Respiratory, we rotate between respiratory protocol and infectious disease, and sometimes the C1 or C2.
Which C stands for right? Cellular, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, guys, I think 1 hour's worth of talking is phenomenal, and Alicia is ready for bed. Thank you, Alicia, for staying up late. Everyone else, do you all go to bed early? Who goes to bed early? No? Okay, good. All right. Melissa does. Oh, okay. All right. Thank
It's
you.
my bedtime now.
It's your
I'm
bedtime.
sleepy, but I'm not going to go to bed.
No, right. But I really appreciate you all getting on. I think I am really excited about the information that we brought and sort of a laid back style. I think everybody could gain from what we've shared. Just little things. I mean, these little things are the things that add up and make us feel our best. And I think ultimately it's just knowing that we have these tools, right? Like, should anything pop up, it's okay. We've got an arsenal and things to turn to. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them. I think the chat will not be live anymore once the recording is over, obviously, but you can message any of us privately and we will do our best to help you find the answers you're looking for. But that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for popping on. I had a really fun night. It was nice to be in the same room with you all.